Okay, am I... Hey, now, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, all good. Now you can hear me and see my goofy face, huh? All right, let me. Man, that was. I'm so sorry about that. Insert photo. Okay, here we go. Well, it's the day. It's the day before Easter, and I hope everyone is having a nice day and you got a lot of stuff done today that you were planning to. Let's bring her up just a little bit there. Okay, welcome. My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and sorry for the little delay there in starting. I was having some technical problems, which is always very exciting to have right before you're about ready to go live. Too many programs open up, so it just started chunking things down. But we're here, it's all good, and we're ready to rock and roll. We see you and hear you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Danielle. So let's get into it tonight. Tonight we're having a special Saturday Night Live draw. Typically we draw live on Monday nights and Wednesday nights. If you are not part of our Facebook group, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and then you will get announcements when we go live. I also have a website called dadwhodraws.com. There's a couple classes there, and I would encourage you to sign up for one of the freebies. I have a free PDF and a free class, and if you sign up for those, I can send you announcements through your email that when we're having these live drawing sessions. So I think that's about it. Please do like and give me a like and a thumbs up on the video. That's always wonderful. And tonight we voted, and this is our winner. We're going to be drawing this portrait. And if we were ready to get going, I am too. So let me just move her over just a little bit there. Okay. So let's talk about portrait drawing. I'm going to make her smaller even. Okay, here we go. So, so this is a profile, a side view of the person here. And usually when I approach any type of portrait, I always go in with a 3-step process. And if you have tuned in before, you might get tired of me saying this, but it works really well for me, okay? And this is a 2D, 3D face location. This is how I approach any drawing. So let's just start off with something. Let's remove this picture, for example, for a minute, and I just want to kind of review this basic process here, okay? Because you're going to find out there's a lot of ways to draw a head, and drawing heads are something that we all really want to get good at. It sometimes seems that's the mark of a real good artist. And I have found if you could draw the human portrait, you can almost draw anything, because the human portrait is so difficult on so many levels, but over time you will get better at it. The key is just to keep persevering, okay? So here I've quickly drawn 3 spheres on here. So when I say 2D, 3D, when I say 2D, 3D face, this is what I mean. When you start to draw a portrait, the first question you must ask yourself is, what is the 2D axis? Meaning, does the head, I'm going to look right at the camera here, does the head lean to the right, to the left, or to the right? Okay, so on our picture here, let's just say this guy is leaning a little bit to his left. This one is leaning a little bit to the right, and we'll put this one straight up and down. Then the next question you have to ask yourself is, does the portrait come forward or is it leaning back along that axis? So we could very easily say that this one is leaning back. And if it's leaning back, then typically we're going to get an eye line that's slightly up curve, okay? This one we'll say is leaning forward along this axis. And so this, we're going to be looking down at this one ever so slightly. And this one we'll say is looking straight at us. So this one is going to be straight at us. Okay? So the next step, so that would be that's our 2D, that's our 3D, and the last one is where along this brow line is going to be my face. See, I could drop a center line right here, and then I know that this face is looking in this direction. You see that? Or I could drop it over here, and if I drop it down here, then I know that he is looking in this direction. So in this case, let's just drop, let's say the face is in this direction, okay? And on the one looking straight at us, we're going to curve it around here. We'll say that they're looking off in this direction. All right? So that would be the location, the direction of the face. Once I have that established, the next thing I look for is the temples. The temples of the eyes, and those are always going to be right here. You could pause for a second and feel them. They're the little nodes on your skull, and they're usually at the very end of your eyebrows. Okay, so we're going to call this A and B and C. All right. So on A, let's just use this facement place here. There's going to be one temple, and there's the other. Now, mind you that A is more of a 3/4 view, so this distance is going to be a little bit shorter than this distance over there. Okay. And let's look at B now. B is also in the same, kind of looking in the same direction. So there's my temple, 2 dots to signify the temples. And then let's jump over to C. C is going to be here and maybe over there. Again, all of these are slightly 3/4 view. So on one side it's going to be shorter than the other side, okay? All right, let's continue on. So from the temples then, what I like to do is look for, I like to create the side of the skull, okay? So we'll go the sides. And this I start right at the temple, and I'll kind of get a slight oval. And on this angle, it's going to come down almost straight, all right? Same thing over here now. I'm going to draw an oval, and this also is going to be straight over there. Over here at C, same thing. I'm going to slice off the side there, and this is also going to have a bit of a flat plane there. So this becomes a very flat plane. It's no longer round, it's flat. Okay, so from the brow line, I'm going to show it right here. A lot of times we will do things in thirds, but you could actually do the thirds. Usually start right at the brow line. It goes brow line, nose, right underneath the mouth, and then chin. So let's put those in here. Brow line, nose, mouth, and then our chin. And these will all be, these are like 1, 2, 3. Let's do that again over here now. 1, 2, 3, and our chin is going to come down there. 1, 2, 3, and our chin right down there. Okay? so this little bit here being the mouth on A, we're going to come up, and then it's going to turn the corner, and right there is where our jaw is going to go. Our jaw is always going to line up right with the mouth. You see that? And then this is going to come straight back like this. And then this is going to be the back of your skull. Something like that. It might even drop a little bit lower. And these measurements are just in general, okay? All right, over here, let's drop this down a little bit. There's the bottom of the chin. Okay, we'll come up. And we could do the other side as well. Drop it down, sweep around. So we get the side, and then we could get the jaw. And then the last thing I want to show you, and this is your basic face model, is this idea of the visor of the head. And this is where it's going to come in slightly like this. And then this is going to come all the way back down, come back out again. And this is the plane that goes back and then back out like this. And usually what will happen is your nose will sit right on that plane. Same thing over here. It starts right at the temple usually, comes all the way around like this. And then over here as well. Here our nose would come in like this. This is how where the nose is attaching to the head there. Okay, so this right here is going to be your basic head, and you want to keep practicing this over and over again, and you will start to be able to see it. Once you see this form, then you could start building all your pieces on top of it. If I remember back in college, we had taken a sculpture class, and we would have like an armature that we would apply our clay to and build things out. All right, let's get on to our face here with that in mind. Okay, so the first thing, any questions or anything on that? No, we're good? All right. All right, so let's go ahead and start with a quick gesture. And a quick gesture, I'm holding my pencil, of course, by the back and keeping it nice and light. And I'm just like skating, like an ice skater skating across to give me a sense of where things might go. And you want to keep this light because we're going to make adjustments to it. All right, so that would be considered my gesture. All right, so let's go through our phases that we just talked about there, okay? So, of course, the 2D, she is looking straight up at us. So there is no 2D. She is neither leaning forward or back. She's almost straight up or down. And her face is off to the far left there. So let's go ahead and get our eye line in. Our brow line, actually. And then I'm going to put her temples in. So I'm going to, can you see her temples? Her temples are really clear over here. Let me show it to you. Look, her temples are right there. And it's right around the other side, but that definitely is where that main temple is. All right, so here we go. All right, let's circle this around here. to try and get the side of her head. I'm keeping this light right now. And then look at the center. The center is not dead center here. It's actually right over there. This is the placement of the face, okay? So I'm going to drop a line coming down there. And we can see this visor that I just showed you a minute ago. Okay. Nose is coming down. Mouth is coming down here. All right, let's look at this. So mouth is going to be right about there. You know, I'm going to make my drawing just a little bit bigger, I think. Mouth is just about right there. And then the chin is going to be somewhere right about there. And what I'm doing is I'm making guesstimates here. And this is how I'm doing it. I'm kind of looking at the distance between, I'm looking at the distance between like this point right there and the bottom of her nose. You see that? And then I'm looking all the way down here to her chin. So these are about the same distance. So this is what I have here. Boom, boom, and about the same distance, almost to about there. All right, let's continue on now. All right, so this is going to come down just a little bit. We have the far side over here. Let's get this nose in a little bit. This nose is going to be very helpful. So this is the far side, the underside of the nose. Now we're going to come up there just a bit. And with the nose, you can see, I'm going to draw it down here real quick. A little closer view of this for you. When you draw this nostril here, it's going to come around like almost like this. See that? So when we draw it over here, let's go ahead and follow that same process there, and it's a little bit of a hook. Underneath, we're going to curve around just a bit. And before we go any further, let's come back up and get her eyes in. That's going to help us with our locating of the mouth. So once again, I am going to start using horizontal and vertical measurements, and what that means is this. In my mind, I'm looking at her face, and I'm thinking, if I ran a line, a vertical line right at her nose, okay, so her right eye is just to the right of that line. All right. If I look at this right here, look at this. This is the curve of her nose. You see that? And I can see her eyelash starts pretty low there. All right, so let's look to that right there. Okay, so I know that my eyelash, if this is the inside curve of my nose, which I've already put down, and I'm going to draw this lightly, her eyelash is going to start up and come across. You see that? Now let's draw that horizontal line here, and then get this other eye in, and we can tell that this eye is higher, a little bit higher higher than that eyeball. And look at this too. I just noticed this alignment. Look at this. Look where this eye is in relationship to the temple. There's the temple, and there's the back of her eye. You see that? So her temple almost divides that right in half. All right, so there's my eye, and I'm going to draw it down here so you could see it a little bit better. And I'm going to put it right here. So when I go to draw this eyelid, eyelid, I'm going to start here. I'm going to move up, and then this thing kind of goes around it. You see what I mean? It goes around it like this. And the bottom here comes around, and this is going to circle around like this. And then very carefully, I'm looking to see where her iris is, and it's going to come in here. And of course, her pupil is going to be right about there. Let's go ahead and do that now in our picture here. So before I'm just about ready to do it, but I want to show you where I'm lining it up at. Look at this. There's the bridge of the nose, and I can see about where I should start it, okay? When you're drawing portraitures, you are constantly looking for these measurements. All right, so I'm going to come up. Okay. And then the lower eyelid. And then you could see this little increase. Watch now. This is that part of the eyelid there, and I probably should have closed mine down just a little bit more. Okay, I think that will work. And then when I go to draw her iris, you can see just the tip of the bottom touch the lower eyelid. So watch this. See that? And then I'm going to put my my pupil in. And then this whole area is has a lot of tone in it. So I'm going to just drop all that in there. And then her eyelash, this eyelash is coming from, it's coming up from underneath. So watch. So I'm coming up from underneath. And I'm thinking of it as a mass. Here's one other thing I want to show you on this. And when you get to the lower eyelid, be mindful, and you could see it in the picture very carefully. There is a little bit of light that will the thickness of the skin will capture. And look, you could see it right here. I'm going to zoom in here. Look, you could see that. You could see that little bit of light. Ooh, look at that. You can see that little bit of light right here. You see that? So we wanna honor that when we put our lower eyelid in. Always want to have that little bit of light. Am I on the right page? Yes, I am. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on and get my other eyelash in now. And a lot of times when I draw, I push down, and as I make my mark, I pull up on it. I push down and pull up, and that gives me a nice thick and thin line. I would do that too also with my, if I was using, well, my favorite drawing thing is a Crayola pencil. It's soft lead, but I would do that using that. Okay, let's drop a little bit of shadow underneath our nose here. And then look closely at her nose here. She has the shadow underneath, a little bit of highlight, and then a shadow on top. You see that? Let's put that in. Okay. And then let's get this eyebrow in. First thing we're going to do is, and I look to where my shadows are, and I could kind of start to outline where the shadows will go. So she has some nice eyeshadow on here. Let's just put the border where that's going to go, and like this. Just look carefully at the picture here. Okay. And then I'm going to add some tone in that area. Next, let's go ahead and get this eyebrow in. And we want to place it correctly here. So we're looking at negative space on either side. Where's it lining up? Okay, that looks pretty good. I've got this angle coming up here. And then it's coming all the way back right past that temple line. You see that? And I'm going to fill mine in. And there's a secondary tone in here that I can add. I'm just going in and adjusting some of my tones around the eye here. All right. Moving right along. Moving right along. Okay, we have this part of the barrel of the mouth. The septum. Now let's look closely at her mouth here, okay? So where does the back of this, I'm looking at the back of her mouth here, and let's change this to be this so we can see it. Where does this line up with? Oh look, that lines up almost with the front of her eye there, okay. All right, so let's kind of make sure we draw it that far back. And then I'm just going to draw a line here to guide me before I draw the lips. And now I'm going to draw the top of the lip, okay? And I'm looking for the shape here. Okay. And then let's look at the lower lip here and look very carefully now. Look very carefully how this works. All right. This lip almost comes all the way out there. You see that? And then circles back up there. I'm not putting her teeth in yet. We'll get there. And now let's get her teeth. So if I look closely, I never like to draw teeth. I always draw the spaces around the teeth. I don't know why. It's just, maybe it's out of habit. Who knows? So I'm just going to draw around the teeth. And I'm going to even drop a little tone on them. And I'm going to drop a little tone now on her lower lip, making sure that it's not as dark as her upper lip. She has a little bit of a tone underneath her lower lip, the shadow. And then we have her chin. And how far does her chin come out? Okay, so let me just look here closely. Okay, so it looks, as I'm looking at this now, I see something that I've made a bit of a mistake on. Look at the relationship between my nose and my lip. My lip should actually extend out a little bit further than what it is. So I'm just going to make that slight adjustment right there like that. That will help quite a bit there. All right, let's get this chin in here. And I'm looking at the negative shape, and the negative space that I'm looking at is right here. I'm looking at this amount of negative shape, that space right there. And I'm looking at the angle as it comes back. We have this nose. Look at that. You have the cheek right about here. And then you have the bottom of the ear. In our daily draw class, we went over this a couple weeks ago. And I like to call that the Fantastic Four because, and I'm going to make a slight adjustment here on mine. Because you go from the bottom of the nose, bottom of the cheek, bottom of the ear, and then the back of the skull. Which is going to be right about here. All of these things. Let me see if I can show it to you here. Look how they line up. You've got bottom of the nose, bottom of the cheek, ear, and then back of skull. Okay, those four things usually line up pretty good. Okay, great. Let's get this top of this hair in here. And I'm looking at the negative shape, and look at this. I'm just kind of, I'm not using curves right now. I'm just using angles. Angle of the ear back here. And let's get this hair in. I'm just looking for the overall shape. I have to make my drawing a little bit smaller here. Okay. All right, let's continue on here. Back of her neck is coming down here. Where's the front here? Okay, let's line that up nicely. You can see she has this tendon that goes from the back of her ear down, right down into the pit of her neck. And then I can see her shoulders just about like this. We're not talking about shoulders tonight. Bottom of her hair is lining up horizontally with her mouth. And let's make sure that we get enough hair back here. And then this bun lines up almost with her ear there. You see that? It's almost like a straight line coming back here. Okay. Now let's look at this hair and look at it in pieces. So I'm just sectioning it off almost like you would a map that had different countries in it. Okay. And then we have her hair coming up here. All right, we have a piece like this. Then we have another piece, and then this is coming down. And then this comes into a beautiful curlicue. When I'm drawing the ear, let me show you. There's 4 parts to the ear. You have this part that I just drew. This would be considered a backwards C. Then you have a backwards, almost like think of a question mark. Okay. Then you have the Y of the ear. It's like this. You see that? It's like the letter Y. And then this comes down and you have a little letter C backwards. And those are your basic parts of the C. So it is, let me show you. It's a backwards letter C. It's a question mark. It's the letter Y. And then another C, a backwards letter C. Okay? So let's put those in. You really can see this Y that she's got going here in her ear. And then the rest of that, the hair is going to cover. And I just saw, I need to drop in her other eyebrow there. There you go. All right. All right, at this time I'm going to go ahead and drop an overall tone into her hair. And I'm just going to try and keep this as even as possible, going all the way, covering all of her hair at once with the same even tone. I like that tone, so actually I'm going to use that same tone and drop in the tones of her face, following the planes. So look at this. This whole area is going to be undertone. Keep it light. All right, let's get into secondary tone now. Tone onto her neck. And of course it gets really dark down here. And right where this tone hits the that shiny part there, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Darker right along in here. Building up my tones slowly. All right, I'm going to come back into my hair now and start thinking of it as mass in these different regions that I've mapped out here, okay? So before I do that, I'm going to drop another tone on the entire hair because this is darker than her skin. Another even tone going all the way across to take it up a whole nother level. Okay. And if I look at her hair, you know, even this whole back section here is really dark. So here we go again. Another tone. And where does this end? This almost ends like right there. We kind of have this imaginary line from the top of her head. You see that? To her ear. Get this real nice, almost like a silhouette in the back here. Look at these. Now I'm going to use these as her hair back here. Surface lines. Good night, everyone. All right, Marcus. Hey, have a happy Easter, my friend, okay? Have a happy Easter. Tune in tomorrow to see check out the dog. We're going to do that next as soon as we're done. That's the Easter surprise, right? All right. Let's keep working on this hair just a little bit here. we have some people, I think, who live in Australia. So I think they're done. I think their Easter Sunday is finished. It's always a weird concept. Okay, I'm going to be bold. I'm just going to drop that really dark back here. I always yell at you guys, get your values in, right? Somebody's like, Kurt, get your values in. All right, how's that look overall? Not too bad, not too shabby. Okay. I think we're just about done on this one here. More tone back in here. I'll get up tomorrow and think, oh, I wonder how that thing turned out, and take a second look at it. Look at that. Okay, that's straight down. Okay, this needs to be, I think, at a different angle. All right, that's it for me. I think we're gonna get that. We're gonna turn around and have some fun now with our dog. Okay, so yeah, there you go. I hope you picked something up. I need 2-minute bathroom. All right, I see you there. And make some tea. That sounds good, Danielle. So listen, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for tuning in, and to everybody who's going to tune in a little bit later, thank you as well. Please do comment, give a thumbs up, and we have a free class, the beginner's workshop, that you should check out down below. Other than that, happy Easter, everyone. I'm going to end this stream, and we're going to start our next one with a dog and his bunny ears. If you want to do that one as well, I will put, you know what? Let me take a second, and I will put that comment. I'll put a link right here in the live stream so you can see that. Hold on here. Give me 1 second. Hold on here. Copy that, and boom, there it is. Okay, so go ahead, and if you are watching this and want to continue and join us in our dog video, by all means, we'll be starting that up here in about 5 minutes. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Bye-bye.